round-headed fool, you've picked that from someone, you've used that 200 times in the last 3 minutes.
Head like a fucking orange.
Stupid fucking bald cunt. Where'd you get that from, Suzanne?
You've said it 3 times just during breakfast.
Now, dim-witted half... Steve, £5.
Yep.
A big question, particularly in the area of philosophy of the mind, is what is intelligence?
It's just it's what you know, isn't it?
Well, that's knowledge, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's a form of knowledge, intelligence.
No, I don't think it is.
Why not?
Because intelligence really is everything from the ability to retain knowledge, to understand it, to apply. It's probably a little bit like the difference between how fast the computer is and how good the program on that computer is.
It's no good. I'd say I've got a brain that can work stuff out. But sometimes if I tell it too much, it can't remember all of it. Now if I had a brain that had loads of memory space,
yeah,
tell me as much as you want.
Well, that's important. That's
and
important to it. But yeah, but some people say that's what intelligence is, isn't it? Memory. It's no good saying he's brilliant. He learns 10,000 facts a day. Really? Yeah, he forgets them the next day.
Yeah. Well,
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but what good is that? Trivia is nothing. It doesn't show intelligent.
It's good for chat. It's good for chat, and when you're out and about, if you meet a stranger, it's good to drop something in, like, you know.
Go on.
What would you drop in?
To show you're intelligent.
Well, just to meet you've just met me at the bus stop. You think he's a nice fella.
Steve's at the bus stop. There he is. He's there. He's got his little duffel coat on, his little scarf, his file. He's got his little glasses. They're a little bit mudded up where some ruffians have like thrown mud at him, and I've seen this, and he's cried and he shat himself.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, and he's run to the bus stop to go home to his mum.
That's
okay?
not true at all.
So at the bus stop, there he is. You come along, you go, oh, who's this nerd who shat himself?
That
right?
would never happen.
Right, right. And
I'd have fought that. I'd have had a fight with him.
Yeah, and you go, okay, he's obviously intellectual. Look at him, and he's gone, and he's looked at you, and he's gone, Jesus Christ, you look thick. Prove him wrong.
No, what I'd do...
Go on.
There's no point just having one fact.
Right.
I'd wait for him to start a topic, and I'd show my intelligence by having a fact on the topic he's brought up.
Okay.
Because we can all have one topic.
Yeah.
That you go, oh, I'll show this off, and then, you know, someone goes, oh, has he been talking to you about the peanut fact again? And you go, he's obviously telling everyone. Then it's just a boring answer.
Okay, so I might just say to you, you know, what are your views on mathematics?
I'd just say the thing with numbers is there's loads of them.
I remember I told you an interesting fact once again to try and explain infinity to you, and I told you this: there are as many even numbers as even and odd numbers put together.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think I've said before that I don't think things like that are impressive because numbers are man-made anyway.
Right.
If you were talking about, like, when you mentioned about there's more insects we don't know about than what we do, then you're going, oh, where are they? Where are they hiding? It leaves a question. The fact that there's loads of numbers, it's like, yeah, but at the same time, you could rule numbers out of your life if you wanted to.
Really?
You could live a life.
Do you really think that?
Difficult.
Yeah, you could. There's tribes. There's tribes in the Amazon.
Yeah, but they're not getting their food from Sainsbury's, are they?
They count to 3. They don't need any more numbers than 3. And they just have 3 because they go, 1, they know what 1 is, they go, pass us one of them. And they have one of them.
What do you mean?
Anything over 3, they just say, well, you're being greedy. So they don't need it.
But what if they've got 5 children?
How many kids you've got when you're living in a place like that, it doesn't matter. It's not about you just part of the tribe.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Right, where is this tribe that only counts to 3?
It's somewhere like the Amazon or something.
Really?
And there's no more numbers than 3. They don't need it. Anything more than 3, they just say, I'll have more.
Right.
Or gives another 3. But
give us another 3?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Or another 1 or another 2.
But what if they need 200? That's complicated, isn't it?
Well, you just keep going, give us 3, and then just keep
That seems
asking
a
for
slow
3.
way of doing it.
They've got nothing else to do. They're living in the Amazon.
Alright, I'm at the bus stop.
Oh, where's your bus?
So far, You've told me nothing about maths whatsoever.
So you're concluding that he is dim?
Fucking idiot.
When I was on holiday recently,
Yeah.
I got talking to an old fella, because where I went, it's mainly for old people. I got chatting with him. You could tell he had a lot of money.
Yeah.
He sort of tanned. He had that sort of rouge-coloured sort of jeans,
Oh yeah.
which is always sort of...
Telltale sign.
It's kind of like he's got money.
Yeah.
And,
The red jeans are twice as much, sir. That's okay. I've got money.
yeah, it's either that colour or yellow. But you can carry it off when you're an old man, and especially with the tan, you think, yeah, he's got a few...
I'm a millionaire. Do you have any yellow jeans? We've got one pair, sir, but
No, the most expensive one.
Yeah, they're in the back room. Can I just see your bank account first? There it is. Oh, yeah, you can afford yellow jeans, all right, sir. Come this way.
So I got talking to him, and it turns out he had a cruise ship.
Right.
Loads of money. Now, I was chatting to him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What colour was his jacket?
Said he didn't have a jacket on, just a white shirt.
He's wearing red jeans and a white shirt.
Yeah, sort of leather slip-on shoes that I can remember.
How old is he?
It's hard to tell because he was well tanned.
Right.
Was he an attractive man?
He's a good-looking fella.
So he's rich. So you saw this rich, good-looking bloke with just a shirt on.
Oh, he had a shirt and his pink pants.
His pink pants, and he just went over and struck up a conversation.
I don't know. Why did you notice what colour the crotch area was?
What?
Why did you notice what
You were
colour
looking very much at the arse.
I can see why you could see if you're looking at his face, you can see a white shirt. But why could you see what colour the fabric around his testicles were?
You saw a good-looking old man sat at the bar. You went out and bought him a drink. Right?
Yeah,
I was waiting for the barbecue to open.
Right. Okay. And you noticed a man's. So you noticed a man's trousers.
No.
Yeah. No.
I was annoyed. I don't like late nights on holiday.
Right, okay.
With jet lag. Suzanne said, let's go down there early tonight.
Right.
I get there. I find out the barbecue's not for another 40-odd minutes.
What time was it?
The holiday rep. Well, I don't know. It starts at 8.
You're noticing old men's genital coverings, but you don't know what fucking time it is.
Yeah, but
get your story straight.
What I'm saying to you is the reason I noticed his pants is because what he was talking about, there was no reference points. I didn't have a clue what he was going on about.
Right. What was he talking about for your eyes to wander down to his penis? Is what I'm trying to say. What made you look at his penis?
Because I got bored. I didn't know. What I'm trying to say to you is his reference points. I had no idea what
was
he was
talking
going on
about?
He was talking about how he was in some Cuban war. He told me about how he'd met President Reagan. He told me something about how he'd cut up a cow once. There was
this bloke. I think he's a maniac who would spill blood on his trousers whilst hacking up his dead wife. He's gone insane. He's jithering and chatting away, claiming he owns a cruise ship.
He told me he spent 36 grand on furniture. And when I sort of looked at him like, what have you been buying? And he's going, oh, well, I needed a couple of shade lounges. And it was just, there was nothing I could relate to.
Lounges? Wasn't she in a TV series?
I don't understand why you have no interest in either being in a Cuban war, having met Ronald Reagan. Because why is that not interesting? Why have you got no reference?
I don't know why the trousers were much more appealing to you. If someone was telling me,
I was in a war, I met Che Guevara, Fidel Castro,
and then why are you looking at my packet?
So that's my point. It's just
what's your point?
That you can have a chat with a fella just like I'm talking to the geek at the bus stop. And sometimes
what?
you can't take part. What am I meant to say about him meeting Reagan? What am I meant to say about him being in the Cuban
War? Just to ask him questions about he was in a war.
When I sort of took it back to, I wonder what meat they're doing at the barbecue, he wasn't bothered.
Yeah. I love the fact that that's your contribution. He's talking about the missile crisis, and you're going.
He's met presidents and important people. He's experienced extraordinary things, which would be fascinating to anyone. And you're not interested. You just want to know whether there's sausages.
But I mean, there it is. You see, he's come down. He's looked at you without prejudice and thought, I don't know this guy. The language barrier probably saved you, and he thought he's probably a smart guy. I'll tell him a bit about my life. Why is he looking at my fucking ass? Why is he looking at my meat and two veg? You know, the barbecue. You don't need to barbecue. It's a lovely little fucking sausage here.
When you're talking to a stranger, aren't you meant to keep it
above the waist?
Keep it.
Looking at his bollocks.
Keep it
erect. I made Carl laugh. Well, there you have it. The in-depth study of the mother of science, the Ricky Gervais Guide to Philosophy. You can still enjoy the back catalogue of these guides: medicine, natural history, and the arts, and seasons 1 to 5 of the Ricky Gervais Show. Over the last few years, with all our explorations, our studies, what have you learnt? What's the one big thing you've learnt since we've been doing this, since you've met myself and Stephen, since we've been prodding you, since we've treated you like an ape that we want to teach to speak? What have you learnt about yourself and the world? One thing, if you had to take it with you.
No, I don't think I've learned anything that substantial.
Ever?
During all this? There's not been anything groundbreaking, has there? We've chatted about midgets with no arms and legs. Gay ones. I don't know if that will ever crop up again in a chat. So even if I've learned something from it, I don't think that'll ever crop up again. So it's no use. That's what I'm saying to you about information and intelligence. It's if you can use it.
So you're saying this series of audiobooks at the price of £1.95 is absolutely worthless and pointless?
Yeah, I suppose it is, yeah.
Thanks, good night. Testing.
Better level, Steve.
This is almost the environment more than
it is,
the
really,
Earth,
isn't it?
Have we already publicised it as the Earth?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, but that's fine. The Earth.
Why is it called the Earth?
Well, no, we talked about what? I said, what do you mean? Why is it called the Earth?
You mean why is the Earth called the Earth?
It's
Why
just
is Mars
something
called
I never
Mars?
say. I never say Earth. I always say world.
Well, it depends. It's not called the world, is it? Because a world it's relative. Mars is a world. It's the world because it's our world, but there are many worlds, aren't there? You could say the world of something. You couldn't say the Earth of something. The Earth is the name of the planet.
But when do we need that?
What?
When do we need to say the Earth?
When we're referring to the Earth.
When does that ever happen?
Well, for instance, right now, when we're talking about the Earth, being that this is the name of
If I was in a-
to distinguish it from other planets.
If I was in... I know, but when's that ever going to be a problem for me?
What? Well, it's not all about you.
If I was in a rocket...
Yeah, right, here we go.
I'm sat at the front.
He's got a good seat, yeah.
The pilot goes, Carl, come up here, mate.
And I look in the mirror and I see...
Mirror in the rocket. Mirror, check, reverse, indicate. Brilliant.
And I see the world. I'd say, look, oh, doesn't the world look magnificent?
You go, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'd say it. I wouldn't say Earth. I wouldn't dream of using the word Earth.
But then you're in a you could say, well, this is our world now. For next year, this is our world, this spaceship.
I say, no, not really. I'll
is,
always be
mate.
looking back over there. I'm looking at there's our world, there's England there.
Not anymore, mate. We're moving to Mars. We're going to start a whole new world. Oh, which world are you talking about, Carl? Let's call it the Earth and Mars, like we always have, you dopey cunt. That's the name of this planet we're
But
on.
that's what I'm saying, though. It's not our problem. We're never going to leave it. So it's our world. So leave it as world. It's a bit of information. You don't write so-and-so road, London, England, Earth. You don't need it.
What other words are you annoyed by? Other words are out there you're thinking, why is that there? Because we do not need it.
It's one of them where I come across something. They're not always in my head. It's just... I'm trying to think of something that I've seen recently. That's a word.
I'll say some words, Carl. You tell me whether you like them or not. Okay? Yeah? Route.
What sort of route are we talking about?
Good question. What about a pre-planned journey?
No, I don't need it. You just go, which way are you going? I thought you meant beetroot. That's
A root
all right.
vegetable.
What, you don't mind beetroot?
Depends what I'm having.
He doesn't mean the food, he means you don't mind the word existing. This is because you have such a limited vocabulary that it annoys you and intimidates you that people are using words, correct words, the correct English language.
Are you happy with chair? Should we keep chair?
It works. It's fine.
Are you happy with the chair you sit on, or the chair who's in charge of like a forum or a meeting? What would we call a bloke who's in charge of a meeting?
Chief.
Chief? Okay, what about bloke who's in charge of a group
Native Americans.
Native Americans?
I don't know any. Again, not going to affect my life.
No, but what would you call him? He's a bloke in charge of all the Indian...
Seriously, not a problem.
Yes, but it's a problem for someone. So you've got to have a word for
head
it.
chief.
Head chief.
Oh, so he's... that means he's the bloke in charge of people who are in charge of meetings.
That's confusing. I'm confused. I don't know who you're talking about,
confused,
mate.
actually. I'm confused here.
I mean, some words I know you're not happy with. There are certain numbers you're not keen on. What about number 7? Would you get rid of that?
I've heard about that tribe where it is just like they have 3. They say that's all they need in their life. 1, 2, 3.
Really?
Yeah, give us 3 of them. And then, actually, it gives another 2 with them 3. It's all like just easy.
I love the fact that they're still saying they're talking like that.
Still down the market.
Yeah. We should have a word for this 3 and this 2. Nah, fuck it. I very rarely want 3 then 2. Keep it 3 then 2. How many do you need now? Just 1 and another one. Or say 2. Oh yeah, I could say 2, yeah. Do you want one more? If I wanted 3, I'd say 3. Do you want one more? Yeah, go on, give us 3 and 1. As the writer and pioneering ecologist Rachel Carson once wrote, "Those who dwell among the beauties and mysteries of the earth are never alone or weary of life. Earth, third rock from the sun, and the only known planet in the universe to accommodate life, was formed about 5 billion years ago. Extensively covered by saltwater oceans, it supports a myriad of organisms, the most evolved of which is man. Yet how we humans interact with our world could be sowing the seeds of our own destruction. With environmental concerns still high on the political agenda, what is the future of life on Earth? How are we coping with the threat of global warming, and is our newfound ecological concern too little too late?" To discuss the past, present and future of the Earth, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. Oh, look at his round-headed can!
Alright.
I've been hit by global warming recently, Rick, a couple of times actually.
Go on.
I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, you know, because of the snow and the rain, that's obviously to do with global warming, but it probably is. I was flying out to the States, you know, just hopping over stateside.
Yeah.
And on the old plane, it was one of those bleak, kind of snowy days recently. And they got us all on the plane. We sat on the runway for 4.5 hours. Right. 4.5 hours while they de-iced the plane. Now, it's good that they de-iced it, but I don't want to be told that the plane needs de-icing. I didn't know planes could get iced in a way that they needed to be de-iced. Sometimes, Rick, if it's a chilly morning, right, got the old car, what I'll do is I'll pop the engine on, okay, let it warm up, pop inside, have another cup of tea, come back out, it's lovely and warm and toasty in there. That's what I'd like to have seen them do with the old plane.
The pilot goes, "Don't you get on yet, let me run around the block." Yeah, exactly, yeah. But also, when it's up at 30,000 feet, it's like minus 50, 60 degrees.
This must get iced up anyway. So there's not some guy on the wing scraping with one of those little plastic things. You don't see if you've got a window seat.
We got to put in here. We got to put in here for a while. It's iced up.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But also, I didn't see anyone de-icing, so I don't know how they do it. It's not presumably with, you know, like I sometimes use a CD case if I haven't got one of those scrapers.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I don't know if there was people with, you know, probably with a vinyl record scraping away, but, 4.5 hours to de-ice it. Bunch of people on there whinging and phoning and calling and making me annoyed anyway. Get to, Los Angeles, City of Angels. Famously, you know, glorious weather all year round. That's why people move there. Pissed down with rain the entire time I was there.
I know, you hit the storm. I think I moved out of LA and went to New York the day before it turned horrible, didn't I?
The problem was, I hired a car, right? And I was going to get a relatively cheap, car. They persuaded me to upgrade to a Mercedes convertible. I thought, yeah, I'll look good driving around LA, you know, and that. Couldn't use the top down, obviously. Every day I'd get in this car, every day it would be pouring with rain. I could hear it splattering on the fabric roof, thinking I just paid the odds for this. And, you know, every time there'd be a break in this cloud, I would instantly stop and lower this thing and drive around sub-zero temperatures just to have the top down.
I would like to have
even though it's still cloudy and grim.
Like, you know, at 85 degrees, just whizzing down the freeway at 90 miles an hour, but your glasses would fly off.
They would. This is the problem. I've never really thought. Plus, I lost my sunglasses, so I have to wear a hat in order to keep the sun out of my eyes. And all I had, I thought I need to take it out with me. All I had was a kind of what I like to think is a rather fashionable Justin Timberlake style trilby.
Oh, it's not that hat that makes you look like one of Bill and Ben.
See, I think it makes me look like a like Tom Waits or a sort of 1960s news reporter.
Oh right.
But I
thought Bill and Ben. I thought Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men.
The problem with it is when I bought it, again, I was suckered into it. A bloke sold it to me. He told me he was a street vendor, and he told me I looked amazing in it. I'll be honest. I honestly gave him the cash straight away.
Did you have a game of Find the Lady with him as well?
I'm beginning to wonder if that was part of his sales patter, and he wasn't just a lovely fellow who's trying to help me out. But yeah, it's not quite big enough, so instead of sort of pulling in tight down by the ears, it sort of sits pork pie-esque on top of my head.
Right.
And it is in danger of flying off. It did fly off into the back seat when I was driving. Luckily, I could stop and pop it back on again. But yeah,
that's great.
It didn't fly off, and you know, you don't want that as you're cruising past a couple of sort of Playboy bunny types in an open-top Cadillac, and you're just grinning to them, and your hat flies off.
Or it hits a big Hell's Angel on a chopper behind you
course,
in the face. He's he scratches his bike. You stop, and you go, "It's my hat."
Yeah,
and he goes, "Is
it?" Exactly. What annoyed me was I was with my mates and we were driving around and we had a bunch of friends and they said, "Oh, can you pick up a couple of friends of ours?" And we picked them out, a couple of girls. I thought, "Well, ding dong, here we are, good looking girls." They got in the car. Instantly we were going, "There's not much leg room." I was thinking, for God's sake, it's a bloody Mercedes! I couldn't even impress them with it. It's costing me a fortune. Like, this is a lovely bit of motor, but no, whinging straight away, never met them before. First thing they say.
Yeah. See, now my image of an Englishman is essentially that cliched one. It is, I think, Hugh Grant.
So you're modern, you're straight away modern now.
I would say it's either mixed between Hugh Grant and Roger Moore when he was James Bond.
You see, that's another small percentage of Englishness that sort of annoys me. Those people that think they're James Bond, they think they can buy a suit and read GQ, and they're suave and sophisticated, and they get cars they can't afford, or what they basically do, the people who think they're James Bond, all they do is work in a bank, come home, and flick through GQ at the adverts, looking at people with wearing watches and aftershave. Who wears aftershave?
Do you wear aftershave, Carl?
Normally, aftershave is a sort of thing I let other people buy me. It's like underpants, tea towels, and sort of aftershave and that. Other people buying me.
Who's buying you tea towels?
My mum.
Right, okay.
Every time she turns up, she's got Brilla pads and stuff. I've got loads of them. I keep saying to her, I don't need any of this, but she always brings a box full of stuff. Brilla pads, tea towels, underpants. The underpants size hasn't gone up since I was 14. But I can rely on her for that.
So do you not have anything in your life which you would think of as being gentlemanly? Do you ever dress smartly? What about suits?
I bought one suit that time when you invited me to the BAFTAs. That's the only suit. I wore it for the BAFTAs. I think I wore it for one other thing. I haven't wore it since. I don't feel comfortable. It's not me.
But don't you go to a wedding?
That'd be a lovely advert, wouldn't it? Him with a suit on going, "I haven't wore it since." Karl Pilkington hasn't wore it since.
I don't go to weddings. No, I don't like going to them.
I agree.
I mean, even though you know them, they don't give you any time when you're there, do they? They just they don't know whether you're there or not. They're on cloud 9. They don't know who's around. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be there.
With them, on a wedding day, it's all me, isn't it?
Oh, what are they like?
I know, unbelievable.
You don't even get to make a speech, do you?
Although I know you were annoyed, Steve. Steve doesn't like to part with money. I don't know what the politically correct term is. Stingy cunt, isn't he? He's fucking mean, right? And if he ever has to spend out on like a wedding gift to someone he's known, all his life, he'll look down the list and he'll find things under £25. Then if he bothers spending that much, he's furious when an usher goes, "Just stick it there."
Oh, it drives me insane. Firstly, I'm annoyed about the wedding list. I don't know when that's come along, because I don't know why I can't just bring maybe something I've made at home. No. Why has there got to be a list of stuff?
What newly married bride doesn't want a pair of homemade clogs?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And then you arrive there and it's just, "Oh, thanks very much, stick it on the table." But saying that, I think people very much appreciate you being at their wedding.
No,
they do. They remember if you were there.
No, they don't.
They do. You don't get invited to weddings because you ain't got any mates.
No, I know enough people. Everyone's getting married. But they're always in the middle of nowhere.
That annoys me when people say, "You come to our wedding?" "Yeah, fine, we're in Greece."
Yeah.
Well, no, down the road. I might make it down the road for the reception.
Yeah.
Go to Greece. What? You want me to book a holiday and come to your wedding?
Well, the thing that drives me insane when you do go is when they put you on a table with people you don't know.
Well,
I got all my mates there, and they put because I got to mingle with some people. I don't care. I need these.
But that's what I'm not good at. Talking to people once. Talking to people who you don't know.
No.
What sort of stuff would you make conversation about at a wedding?
I'd probably say, first of all, how do you know them? How do you know the people getting married? And then, do you think it'll last?
Imagine inviting Karl Pilkington to it and going, oh, where should we put him? Oh, I don't know. Is there a table for one? Oh, just
You'd be on the table with the kids.
Imagine being stuck with Karl Pilkington at a wedding. Yeah, what else? So you've asked them, do you think it'll last? They've gone, I'm sorry? Who are you? Karl Pilkington from Manchester. Right. Yes, we think it'll last. What else would you ask? So what's your next? You know it's going badly. They're sort of like looking down their nose at you. They're thinking, why did they invite this bald-headed scum?
There's just the last wedding I went to. It's going back a couple of years, but everyone seems a bit snidey. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got a mixture of families there, haven't you?
Yeah.
And none of them really like each other.
No.
And I got stuck with an old fella who had a flatulence problem.
That sounds fun.
And then he went on to say it doesn't matter, the suit's hired. And it's just kind of...
I'm gonna die! I
just don't like him.
I love it. He's basically saying at a wedding, it doesn't matter if I shit myself. Oh. To be born English is to win first prize in the lottery of life. So what do you think of that, Karl?
Maybe it's that thing that I don't appreciate what I've got. But to me, being English isn't anything that great.
Really?
Why not?
Because it's just what I've been dealt with.
But what would you, I know you know nothing about the world.
You've travelled nowhere, you've seen nothing.
Yeah. But if you could be any nationality, what would you be and why?
Probably be Italian.
Okay. Why?
Well, just, yeah, I like the idea of it. I like Italians are alright.
Where would you live? Rome?
I probably wouldn't want to be in the middle of Rome. It's too much hassle.
Have you been to Rome?
Yeah, it's nice to visit and stuff, but it's just I wouldn't want to live there. You've got to get paperwork done and that if you just want to put a picture up, because everything's old. Everything's listed.
He's only been Italian about 3 minutes and he's already slagging it off.
He's already
but I like Rome.
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of old stuff.
Why have you chosen Italy? I'm interested to know why of all the countries you've chosen Italy.
I was a late comer to pasta.
But it's won you round.
I like it now. It's like one of my favourite things I have. Which there isn't really anything like that in England. That even though
well, except pasta.
Pasta's almost exactly like it.
Yeah,
no,
we've got pasta.
It's not ours though, is it? And we don't know how to eat it.
What do you mean we don't know how to eat it?
We do it all wrong.
You stick it up your arse again.
Look at me. I know how to fucking eat it.
No, but what I mean is, if you saw a proper Italian and they saw what we did to pasta, they would not be happy.
What are we doing wrong? Tell me what we're doing wrong.
Well, I don't know that, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it wrong.
How do you know we're doing it wrong?
I've just heard we do it wrong. It's like how we have the coffee at all the wrong times. I ordered a cappuccino somewhere and the Italian fella said you shouldn't be having that now. It's a breakfast coffee.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Before 12 o'clock.
Yeah, but I was having it at like 11:15 at night.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's absurd. How are you going to get to sleep with a lovely cup of coffee?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't sleep anyway,
You shouldn't drink coffee anyway at night. There was cappuccino or frappuccino or mocha. Doesn't matter. Don't drink coffee after about 4 in the afternoon anyway, full stop.
So, hang on, so you love pasta, but you're not eating it right, so you'd like to be Italian in order to be able to eat pasta correctly, even though you eny the pasta you eat.
What do you feel being Italian is, and what's attractive to being...
It's just very sort of, it's a relaxed lifestyle. Whenever you go to Italy, everyone's outside a cafe. It doesn't matter what sort of person you are.
That's all you do now with your spare time, is sit outside a cafe.
But they get more respect over there.
Why?
It's like, it's okay to do that. There's older people sat outside cafes who do nothing.
I love the fact that he wants to be Italian so he can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than he does now sitting outside a cafe.
No, but everyone's rushing about here. People have like colder coffee. They have frappuccinos here because they haven't got time to have a hot coffee. It's like they've got a coffee with ice in so I can neck it. Get it down my neck and get on with my day. Relax, enjoy your coffee. I don't understand the rush.
You never enjoy anything. You said that you don't enjoy anything. You don't enjoy a coffee. When you're having a coffee, you're probably going, oh, I don't know if I can enjoy it yet, in retrospect. And tomorrow I'll go, I like that coffee yesterday.
But the reason you enjoy Italy is because when you were there, you're on holiday. That's why you're able to chill out and relax.
No.
When you say it's old people sat in some little Sicilian village, of course they got no money.
Here, I went to the Salvation Army.
Right.
Why?
Because it's nice.
What do you mean?
You can get toast and a cup of tea for £1.
Oh, you little skinflint.
Right.
You little roundy
There's
heady
nothing
Scrooge.
skinflinty about that. That's just, that should be the going rate, Steve. I'm surprised I haven't seen you in there, to be honest. But the thing is...
Where is
it? Just near Camden.
What is it? Is it like old people?
A lot of old people, mainly old people. And this is what I'm saying. These are people who are old and they sat in a cafe, but they don't get any respect. People are walking past and they don't want to go in. The way you reacted when I said I was in the Salvation Army, that's the reaction they get. Yet an old Italian person, they looked after better.
Well, it's certainly true they look after their older families, don't they?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Whereas, I mean, it's a lovely place, Salvation Army. Every old fella in there's got a tie on.
Yeah.
They make an effort.
And that chokes me when I see an old boy still put a shirt and tie on. He's 90. He's like been through hardship, and yet on a Sunday they're still shining their shoes, and you know what I mean?
I mean, you sometimes can't even bother to put your trousers on a Sunday.
I know. Well, I've got an elasticated waistband, and they're still fiddling with braces and buttons.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I like about Italians and that. There's a lot of.
So you want to
respect.
be Italian because when you're old, you can sit outside a cafe and get more respect than you do here.
Yeah, look at the old people in this country. They never look happy, do they? Really. Most of the time, when you see them walking around, they go to pot. No one's keeping an eye on them.